This guy just stole my beat and used it as his beat. Alright, here's the plan. I'm gonna go on Fiverr and pretend that I'm in need of some ghost production. I'm gonna tell people that I've been working with an artist and I have some beats that the artist likes, but I need some more beats that sound similar. Now, are they gonna be able to replicate my style exactly? Probably not. But can they make something that's pretty identical to the point where it might fool people? Well, let's find out. They might be wondering why I'm making this video. Is it to exploit and humiliate smaller creators for the sake of creating content on my channel because I've run out of original ideas? No. Anyways, after going through my beats on my hard drive, I picked 3 beats that have a very similar style and direction to them. The ones that I've settled on are these ones here that I have named Weird. And I'll show you why they're called weird by playing some short snippets for you.
The computer, an extension of the human intellect.
So yeah, a bit on the unusual side, but I just have a soft spot for these stranger, weird beats of mine. Now there are a few things that I want to see from the people on Fiverr, some criteria that I want to judge them on. These 3 beats that I played have some commonalities between them, and I want to see if the people on Fiverr pick up on them. So for one, the BPM of these beats are between 70 and 75 BPM. In terms of the sounds and textures that I use, they're very unusual and weird, so I don't use any typical acoustic sounds like pianos or guitars or flutes or anything like that. Another thing that I want to point out is that these beats are not trappy. This is something that I'm sort of worried about. I have a feeling that a lot of people on Fiverr just do trap beats primarily, and so I don't want to see any trap elements in any of these beats. And finally, these mixes are a bit dirty. These are not the cleanest beats by any means, so I want to see if they're able to make dirty sounding beats as well. Anyways, let's hop onto Fiverr and see what we can find, and hopefully this isn't considered cruel and unusual punishment. By the way, this video isn't sponsored by Fiverr or anything, in case you're wondering. So let's see what we have here. Oh, this looks promising. This guy looks like he could be my cousin, actually. So let's give him a shot. $6 Canadian. So I'm gonna type up a message here. Hey, I am working with an artist right now. He's the biggest rapper in my city. Now I asked my YouTube audience to come up with some good rapper names that I can use for the story. So let's see what they came up with. Let's see here. Which one looks good? I like this one, Drippy Mustard. That's a good name. His name is Drippy Mustard. Can you make a beat that has a similar style to the ones I have attached? All right, so let's find someone else to work with. I will do music production, ghost producer, beat maker, and original beats. This one's 40 bucks. Let's give it a shot. Let's choose a different name and see what else you guys came up with here. Adolf Spittler. Sure, why not? All right, moving on. Let's try this fella out here. I will be your beat maker and producer. And the name we'll use for this one. This one's good. A Little Talent. That one works. Let's get 2 more. Let's do an expensive one. Let's do this one. It's a bit on the pricier side. 80 bucks. Looks like he's a weeaboo possibly. The name we'll choose here. This one's good. Kuda Banga. It's a nice name. And one last one, let's sort by newest arrival. We'll choose the newest guy here. And the name we'll use for this one, Mall Esther. All right, so now we wait and see what happens.
1 week later.
Oh, my feet are asleep. I sat on the toilet too long. All right, so I've gotten all the beats back. I haven't heard any of them or anything, so let's go ahead and take a listen. I'm gonna listen to these beats at random. I don't know which producer produced which of these beats, so let's go ahead with beat number 1 here. Got that guitar, which I don't want. Where's the snare and stuff? This beats all foreplay. Where's the actual beat? All right. right, so let's see how that did with my criteria. 70 to 75-ish BPM. It sounded like it fell in that range. I'm not going to bother getting the exact number. The unusual sounds, I mean, there were a few unique synthy sounds, but for the most part, it was just a guitar type beat, but without drums or bass. In terms of it not being trappy, I guess it sort of didn't feel that trappy to me. In terms of a dirty mix, I'm not 100% sure this would fall in that category either. So I'm not that convinced with this beat. Let's go ahead and listen to beat number 2 here. You just sampled my beat. You just stole my beat. This guy just stole my beat and used it as his beat. This is genius ghost producing. Well, you get what you pay for, I guess. This guy just stole my beat. All right, well, in terms of the criteria, I guess he knocked it out of the park. This does sound like a beat of mine because it is my beat. So well done to this guy. So here is beat number 3. Trap elements, maybe. I mean, it's sort of halfway there. The acoustic sounds in here are somewhat typical with the organ and whatnot, but there is a good variety of sort of more synthetic sounds, I guess. These synthetic sounds are a bit cheesy. I wouldn't go as far as saying they're unique. They do sound somewhat stockish. So whether this fulfilled the criteria, it did feel like it fell in that BPM range. In terms of the instrumentation, it did feel a little bit more unusual. There weren't many acoustic sounds. Unfortunately, this beat was a bit trappy with the drums as well as the 808. That was a fear of mine and it did come true from the sounds of it. And in terms of dirty mix, this might lean more towards a dirty mix, so I think that was a bit of a success there. This didn't feel like a clean, polished beat, which is sort of what I wanted. Anyways, let's listen to beat number 4 now. No, that's not what I wanted. No. This sounds like video game music to me. What is this? I thought that was like circus music for a second. Alright, so whether this fulfilled the criteria, I'm not 100% sure. The BPM was completely off. It did not fall within that range that I wanted. Definitely unusual sounds. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. It wasn't trappy, so I'll give it that. This did not feel like a trap beat, so kudos to this producer on that. And in terms of whether this felt like a dirty mix, I'm not 100% sure. Some of the sounds in here felt very clean, some of them felt unmixed. And finally, let's do beat number 5, the last one. All right, it's got that sort of dark, aggressive feel to it, which I like. Unusual sounds, so that's good. I'm not angry at this beat, I gotta say. Alright, he did a pretty good job with the arrangement as well. Things sort of switch up and whatnot. Alright, so I think this is probably the closest one in my opinion. The BPM is off. It sounded like it did not fall within that range. But in terms of the sound selection, it was a bit more on the unusual side, so kudos to him on that front. This wasn't necessarily the trappiest beat. It did have an 808, but in terms of the sort of drum programming, it did feel like it was a bit more unique at least. And the mix wasn't necessarily all that clean. So personally, I think this producer here did the best job. But comment down below, let me know which of these beats you thought did the best job of ghost producing for me. Hopefully you had fun. I definitely did. Having someone steal my beat and send it back to me and wasting my money, that's always a good time. So yeah, like and subscribe, and yeah, whatever. I'll see you guys next time.